Good evening. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And if they are comrades, then we can have a third-party comrade. But in this room, there may not be any communist or socialist, I would presume. Me and my Indian, because for you to be successful, you need an Indian around you. So my Indian is called J.J. Singh. He's the owner of this restaurant. So we ambush him and sometimes abuse him and use him because he's useful. If he was useless, there would be no benefit in associating with him. So we are here to celebrate life and also to celebrate those among us who we say, keep on doing what you are doing, because whatever you are doing solves a problem. Somebody says, what is the true meaning and purpose of life? It's not easy to understand life because we live it. But there are some specialists who want to plan it, not live it. So we are here by an accident of history and also because we made the choice to be here. So you are all welcome, because without choice, there will be chaos. What makes us human is the reserved right to say no to anything, whether it's tyranny, whether it's something that takes us to the next step. And what we don't know, I was saying to Mr. Banda, the lawyer there, or was it you? Or it was to our veteran journalist. I was saying, we are born stationary. Any step you make forward is a choice, because it starts in the mind. So Shirley we're saying when minds meet, just to take the next step. You may take the next step and discover the people who are closest to you are not moving, and you expect them to move. So what makes us human beings is the power to choose, to take the next step. Because that's where the battle is fought, not in your legs. Like a soldier, when you say jump, you say how high. It is in the mind. So we launched my book called When Minds Meet. I know somebody was reading it. What is the book about? Just to meet on Busan, that is a jolly good fellow. Some may say, why him, not me? But history and life is about choices. So when we choose you, to celebrate you, it is an expression of the one who created us to choose. Once he takes away liberty, there is no life. It can't be you. So what makes us human is that idea that we are all created equal and endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life itself. It's a contested issue. Liberty. And the pursuit of happiness. Not happiness, just pursuit of happiness. So when we pursue it, we'll find it. When we don't pursue it, we are dead. So welcome. So I think the person is not yet here, or I think let us let me consult. Okay, so Mandela had an Indian. Mbeki had some. Zuma had others. And it's work in progress. I see when my lawyer laughs too much, then I'm in trouble. Mr. Banda, don't you? Okay. All right, so I think welcome. Some people have had points of light, and it sounds like George Bush Senior, not the junior one. And all he said was there's a better angel in all of us. Some never find it in life. Some find it in life. So that angel in us is worth saluting. That it doesn't mean we are looking for icons. Doesn't mean we are looking for trailblazers. When there's no trail, life is no trail. Doesn't mean anything more than that you walk on 2 feet if you have the feet, but you're just human. So when we say a point of light, we don't mean an exceptionalism. We don't mean apartheid. We mean human of flesh that are fallible like anybody else, but just keep on walking until you can't walk anymore. So it is not what it says. Somebody said to me, I'm not qualified to inspire somebody else. And I said the word inspire itself, just understand it. Nobody lives to inspire others. That would be bad life. Imagine I wake up in the morning and I may fly to please meat, but just put meat, flies will come anyway. None of us can be exceptional, because God did not give exceptional time to any of us. So I was saying to somebody, if you can't control a second, why would you control another human being? It's a bad business. Okay, they're bad together. I wrote a song called Birthday. So, and this song, when I wrote it, it was my birthday. So I had surrendered my birthday as as a refuge for others. So I said, if you want to get ahead looking for a job, please come and celebrate with me. If you are looking for an opportunity in business, please, by all means, don't ask me who is going to be there, because I also don't know. So just get on with it. So I was saying to my lawyer this morning, he was saying, I'm coming alone. So I said, you want to steal other people's guests? Why don't you bring yours? He says, no, can I talk with you one-on-one? I said, talk about what? I'm not God. So please just keep on going. Okay. So, Mr. Band, I hope you answered. Okay, yeah. Yeah. No, but so you can play the song. That's a network song. Fred, you seem to be challenged. He's from Ghana. So, and Ghana was the first English-speaking country to gain independence. That's how far we've come. But he's one of the most talented guys I've seen. Are you winning? So it's a black and white problem.
Life is one beautiful thing, and together we create this one colorful rainbow.
We can stand for the birthday.
The 1873 network, we believe that what unites us is not our differences, but our common humanity. Each day is a day to celebrate life, so use your birthday to build bridges. We are bridge builders, building brick by brick. Each day, each person at a time, we shall overcome and secure the future we want. Each day is a day to celebrate life, and birthday is a reminder of proof of life. Use the day to connect and inspire.
You can also dance.
Each day is a day to celebrate life, and birthday is a reminder of proof of life. Use the day to connect and inspire. Without time and space, what is life? Absent the diversity and the differences, what will life be like? Imagine life without a choice. Spare some time, yeah. Where time is measured, yeah. Life true purpose can be self-evident. Life without human interaction is dead, oh yeah. Life impacts on others. Hence, when it is your birthday time, we wish you many happy returns. Each day is a day to celebrate life. The birthday is a reminder of proof of life. Use the day to connect with and inspire somebody today. Each day is a day to celebrate life. It's a day, a reminder of life. Use the day to connect and inspire. Would you wish one to return if life in question makes no difference?
Okay, thank you. So the message is, when you say many happy returns, please mean it, because there are many human beings you'd rather not want to see them return to the next anniversary. So happy birthday, and we are here. The person who was going to talk about the Africa I want, Dr. Ladislas Agbesi, he is in transit. But we can have JJ from India and talk about what made him Miss Europe, Miss the Americas, both North and South, Canada and everybody, and Asia, and run away from India. and say, Africa is where I belong.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to welcome all of you guys on this beautiful occasion and this beautiful evening where we are passing the candles. You know, we are lighting up the candles and be passing it to another human beings. As they say, before you do anything or even you wanted to commit crime, just remember your God who you believe in. I think we skipped that part, but I would like to just put 2 words of prayer so we can be settled and our spirits can be settled. Because sometimes, you know, if you don't remember the Almighty, the man who made us walk all the way to here and who made this possible for all of us to meet on this beautiful evening, I think let's salute all the doctors, all the people who are fighting this invisible enemy we calling COVID-19, those doctors, those nurses, even in India and worldwide, those who passed away by fighting this invisible enemy. Let's give them maybe 30-second peace of mind and we just keep quiet for 30-second mourn, you know, to remember them and salute them. In the mighty name, we start now. Please, 30-second, we salute them. Thank you. I would like to thank the Almighty for bringing all of us here, and we appreciate each and everyone's presence here. It's really a delightful evening, and we're trying to celebrate life, as Mr. Movere said. You can only celebrate if you allow yourself, because many people, they are in bondage. They are not allowing themselves to celebrate life under these hard times, these tough times all of us we are going. So I would like to thank all of you guys. And I wanted to, you know, say something that, you know, in life it is very important we pass the stories and we capture the right moments in our life. Because history is very important. And if you look into all our holy books, if you really see from a different angle, these are only stories, you know, the noble stories, the holy stories. Every time you read them, every time you chant them, every time you're trying to tell someone, it looks fresh. So I think it is time for Africa now to remember all the beacons of hope, all the people who are living here and who are part of our life. And when we look up to them, we feel honored, we feel encouraged, we feel that yes, one day I would be like this. And it makes you a human, it makes you a humble human being. So it is important to tell stories, and that is the theme of BOAF, Banking on Africa's Future, 10,000 points of light. Who do you look up to when it comes to media? Who is your icon? Who is becoming your mentor? Who do you look up to when it comes to legal matters? Who do you look up to when you are in trouble and you don't know which way to take? How do you overcome those challenges? Maybe you are going through financial challenge, you don't have a proper accounting firm who can really take you out or put you in. Maybe you got a lawyer who just filling his pockets by giving you funny stories or giving you wrong ideas because times are tough. So it is important to choose those 10,000 individuals worldwide and also those who belong to Africa continent. It is important to remember them, you know, when they are not with us. And how do you remember them? By endorsing their stories while they are alive. Many people, they go to graves and they put flowers every Friday or whenever the time comes for their beloved one they lost. But we don't remember them while they are alive. So it is important to endorse those stories and those names into the history. So that is where this initiative took place. We were working on it from last, I think, 3-4 years. But, you know, sometimes God got his own time to give you the courage to do it. And when Corona hit and we were going through the hardest lockdown, I think everybody was sitting home and appreciating the little we have. Because many people, they could not sustain the wrath of this virus. Many businesses, they collapsed. Some people, they didn't know what to do, how to overcome out of this. So we thought, no, how do we ignite the fire? How do we give hope to the people who are still in business? They still believe, and they are still fighting, even though they are making the ends meet. So it is important to recognize each other in our network. I got plus minus 6,500 contacts in my phone. But if I die tomorrow, they're all going to either into the grave or my wife will throw it away. So it is important to convert those connections into a community forum. It is important to convert them into something that our kids and the people who we are surrounded by, they remember us when we are not there. Maybe somebody's story can inspire someone. So when I landed in South Africa here, and we were 22 people, and we didn't know what to do, somebody just given us a fake promise that no, South Africa is the best country in the world. And I was deceived by the World Cup. It happened in 2004. I said, no man, South Africa is not a country where, there's too much crime. Look at Cape Town, all the beach, the beauty of the beaches and the women's there, and 99%, players in that time, I think 2003 and 4 in South African cricket team, they were whites. So I said, who is saying there is, crime there? There's nothing looks like white. It looks like Europe. So when we landed here, the guy just left us in the town. Long story short, it was not an easy journey for me to be where I am today. Many challenges and things happen in my life. I end up even living in Alexandra at one stage because some people, they were so jealous that this man is so gifted, he got too many ideas to come out of the challenging situations. So I was a threat to some people. So they try to chuck me out of the country, but they say, when God is with you, nobody can touch you. So by His grace, I managed to stand back, and 2009, I started my own business. And slowly, slow by slow, bit by bit, I managed to enter into Santon. When I left Santon in 2009, I just took my hand like this towards Michelangelo. I said, I will only enter in Santon when I'm somebody, otherwise I won't come to Santon. Believe you me, for 2009 till 2013, I never entered in Santon. I always pass through N2, look up to Santon, and I say, I'm coming. So 2013, God opened the doors, and we managed to penetrate into Santon. And I started my own business in 2013, and by God's grace, it took place very nicely. So it is important, to come and tell people where you come from, how you come from. It can be inspiration to someone when you really endorse their stories in the history. Because tomorrow you don't know, you might be the best singer, you might be the best lawyer, but nobody knows you. You're not solving problem because lawyers, they cannot market themselves. Doctors, they cannot market themselves. How do you bless those who've been good to you in times of hardness and tough times? So that is where banking on Africa's future, it comes into action, that whereby we bring all those peoples, all those good names, all those beacons of hope, such as Fakir Bhai, Bhushan Das Bhai, and Mr. Banda, and a lot of other our people. When we look up to them, because their hearts are clean, they're not sending you the bills first. They say, no, tell me what you need, we can help you. That word in times of need, it means a lot. Because nowadays, you pick up the call, you phone somebody, by end of the day, you end up getting an invoice, while you did not even have the solution of the problem you were discussing. So it is important to become a problem solver, not a problem maker. Because when you provide solutions, life becomes easy. So we are solution makers. That's where we are bringing 10,000 names into Point of Lights, both banking on Africa's future. So that is the initiative we are together here. And I'm thanking everybody, and we will proceed with the program as discussed. Sorry for the little bit hiccups or turbulences we had in the beginning, because some of the guests, they were still coming. And our beauty queen was not here, so we couldn't start without being her here. She's one of our BOAF members. And I would like to wish you many happy returns of the day on behalf of the Royal India and all the team members from BOAF. And now we're going to proceed as scheduled. The flight will land on time. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
We are streaming live, thanks to Discover. And there's a company called Icons, which is the points of light. And a company started by, is that Jason? Huh? Oh, it's Julian. All white people look the same, understand the same. Huh? I thought you were black. Okay. So Julian has got a company. And Julian, can you stand up? This is a pilot for us. What is the company called?
Discover TV.
It's called Discover TV. And if you have Netflix, we said let's have Afflix. And it will be black and white. So thank you for making your presence known. So he's streaming. So if you go to my Facebook page, please share it, please like it, so that we multiply from this event. So it's not just me and my connections. So my page is Mutumwa Mawere, MUTUMWA, and the last name is MAWERE. So you can share so that we can test this idea that we can create our own content, and we shall be in it by choice. So thank you, and good evening, Dr. Akbesi. You were supposed to have 10 minutes, but it was subtracted in the course of the event. So you may say the Africa I want. He's the president of the Pan-African Business Forum. Welcome, Dr. Akbesi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, the birthday lady. I hope you are enjoying your special day. And the month of May is a quite very special month, month of Africa. And we honor Africa in South Africa and all over the world. And I must use also this opportunity to thank also our leader, Mawere, for the great work he's been doing. Since many years I've known him. And JJ, who is the architect of great things, he's just turned in a couple of months something, a place where everybody wants to be. And it's becoming like a place where somebody was talking to me yesterday. Have you been to Royal India? How can you get into the event over there? How can I be part of the great people over there? I said, talk to J. Ladies and gentlemen, and for me, the greatest thing which gave me motive, I'm originally from Benin, a small little country in West Africa. 692,000 square kilometers with 12 million population. We have a very great nation. We serve 7 countries, include Nigeria, Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Togo, to an extent Ghana. We're looking forward to be the greatest Singapore of West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the Africa I've always wanted to see, it has given me the great pleasure to know that we are already living that Africa. Africa of great people. Africa today, since yesterday, you know, you are all aware that something great is happening in Paris, which we call Club de Paris, where there is a meeting of financing many African countries in line of the COVID, how to alleviate, how to redirect their debts through the IMF and the World Bank. They pledge one of the wealthy many of the wealthiest countries have pledged a lot of support for the African countries. In particular, Sudan has been part of the agenda because their progress in terms of their management of after the crisis, whatever they are doing, the World Bank and the IMF have given them, I think they are giving them from 1 billion to, in a credit to 5 billion, which is one of the greatest people who benefited from that meeting. Is that what we want to see as Africa? To always go to Club de Paris, sit with IMF, sit with the other people to be looking for money. I don't think that that's what we want to do. If that's what we were supposed to do, JJ will not be here. If you don't become cognizant of who you are, where you come from, you don't move forward. I always have a very wonderful say. My late father tell me 3 things I must do in life. He said, you know you come from a poor family. I said, yes, Daddy. He said, you know also that as a black man, if you want to succeed, you need to demonstrate 100 times better than what other people can make as a mistake so that you will be accepted in the society. But he said, you know, the other 2 things I want you to know is that when you fear poverty, you will be poor. When you fear death, you die. So Africa, I want to see is the Africa who take his own responsibility, mitigate his risk, take some kind of aggressive policies in line of his future. We have not done that so far. But I think we've come from a certain pattern. You see, President Thabo Mbeki have come with something very interesting called peer review mechanism, which underline what other African countries are doing very well, the other African countries are not doing. And he integrated in the policy where we sell it to the continent. Today, if you go to Ghana, to other countries, you'll see that the law in terms of patent, in terms of the mining law and other things, look a little bit similar to South African pattern. There's a step we are taking. But what is missing is that we need money. Money has been the greatest issues for us in this continent. A beautiful lady can only give what she got. But with money, you can make her more everything you want. Because Africa is the most beautiful woman in the world today. Our continent, my continent, is one of the beautifulest, most is like the greatest beautiful lady. I know when you have a beautiful lady, even if the woman does not look good, if you have money, you make her look good. Is that correct? Huh? Everything is about money. So the Africa we want to see tomorrow is building business pattern where the business have to integrate himself and take over, because most of the time government have too much responsibilities. Gone are the days where everybody wants to wait for the government to give them job. You know, the ANC make a lot of few mistakes. When they come to power, everybody wants to sign contracts. 5 years, 3 years with the government. And it's a pattern. Now other people are waiting for the next term where everybody will have a contract and have a job. But I've been to this country for a couple of years ago. The middle class have been disrupted, have reduced from at least more than 65%. And nothing has been really created to uplift the middle class. We have to start building up a partnership with the government. The government role is about safe security, policies. That's all. The rest is a partnership with the private sector in the areas of healthcare, all the other areas. If you start managing to get that level, then we will be able to solve some kind of problem. And I know, like I said it many times, we have today in terms of the healthcare in our continent today, we are in the excess of 433 billion. In the next 20 years, we are going to 1.8 billion. It means there is a room to operate in our continent. We have the GPs, which is in Africa today, which is about 800,000 to 1 million. But in 20 years' time, we are going to have close to 12 million GP everywhere. In terms of the teachers, we have 4 million all over the continent, which is all over. But there is a great progress. We are in the next 20 years, we are going to have close to 25 million to 40 million. It means our Millennium Development Goal, which is 28.9 billion ahead of China and America, we can achieve it. But the only way we can achieve it, it's come with a very good reforms. I know tonight everybody wants to eat. There are many beautiful ladies which are, if they don't start eating, they have to start going to the bathroom because they need to eat. Good night. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The Africa I want. Imagine Africa existed. Then who would shape and define it? I leave it to you. Yet Africa is a person whose personality and character is you. There are some people who believe that being African is being black. When at midnight we're all black. Okay, now we come just to the family. We have hijacked a birthday so that we can show that there can never be a wrong time to celebrate life. That we are only instruments of the one who created birthdays. We reproduce and he created once. And we don't have a repetition. So on the family side, Janice is surrounded by her mom, Eleanor, her stepdad, who is sitting next, and her dad, who is also here. So imagine brother, sister, they are all on one table. There are families who don't sit on one table and can't even have a conversation. The most expensive gift of nature, just to converse. Like, dislike, without being disagreeable, just being human. So I call Miss Pinetown the giver of life, just to say a few words about today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mawere, for this opportunity this evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Janice Jody Griever, also known as Nukunai's Big Eyes. That is what she was called as a little girl. Now, even though she has outgrown the name, she still has the most beautiful big eyes. I can still remember so vividly the picture we took on her first day of school with the light blue uniform and the long ponytail, almost similar to what she looks like tonight. She was so eager and excited to go to school. And that eagerness to gain knowledge has not left her. That is why after completing a BCom degree in finance, she immediately pursued a degree in BCom law. And if that wasn't enough, she enrolled for a BSc degree in mathematics and physics. And I have faith that we'll celebrate that achievement very soon. Janice, today we are celebrating your 30th birthday. Wow, it's still hard for me to believe that I have a 30-year-old daughter. You are probably thinking to yourself, OMG, I'm getting so old. But there was a time when you were a teenager. And wow, what a time that was. Do you still remember the headaches you gave me? But thank God, you have grown into responsible, ambitious young women. My girl, you are starting the best years of your life. Never lose that craving for knowledge and tackle life's challenges day by day. You are so immersed into your work right now, but you should live a little. Okay, you should remember to take a break sometimes and smell the roses and just spoil yourself. Be a little selfish now and again and put yourself first. On this very special day, I want you to know that I love you and I'm so proud of you. Happy birthday, Nuku Nice, Big Eyes. And may God grant you many more days like this. Thank you.
And on the other side is Mr. Griever, Freddie Griever, just to say a few words before we get.
Thank you very much, and what a privilege and honor it is for me to be standing here and say a few words. I guess it doesn't matter where you think you are in the journey of life, but if you have a 30-year-old child, I guess you're getting old. I must say today, I can relate to the words of a certain Ellie Macpherson, who said, having children is my greatest achievement. It was my savior. It switched my focus from the outside to the inside. I'm very proud to be a father of a child called Janice Jody Griever. And I do want to take this moment to acknowledge her mother. I also want to acknowledge her second dad, the man who took the responsibility of allowing this daughter of mine, Janice, to grow up in his house. I think the journey of Janice has been, Janice has always wanted to achieve. Janice has always loved money. And whenever you speak to Janice, everything is about the money that she's going to make. And I'm so glad that we allowed Janice the freedom, because Janice has always been on some mission in her life. I remember when we went to university, and there was this big argument between Janice and the mother about what Janice must study. And of course, the mother, being an educator and thinking exactly what Janice should be, felt this is what we came here for. But Janice almost, I don't know where the idea came, but she changed on the spot, and Janice wants to go into doing mining engineering. And I said to Eleanor, let's allow Janice to do what she wants to do. And she went on that journey, and then one day I get called because Janice has now changed her mind. She's no longer what Janice is doing. And allow Janice to be what she wants to be. And then there was this big dream, and when I thought Janice has made it now, because she's working now for the Bank of America, and this is now a big thing. And again, one day I get informed, Janice is not into this. And I'm glad she is herself, because in life for many of us, I think as parents, but also as people generally, we set out and we think becoming what is probably regarded as the happening career or the happening thing or the happening job or happening title is what fulfills us. But sometimes just being yourself and responding to what fulfills you. As a mother says, Janice is now so focused in her life. I've never had or seen my daughter as focused as she is now. Nobody has to tell her, nobody has to encourage her. In fact, it has reached the point where she is too focused. That's why her mother says, just try and live a bit. But I feel like she's arrived at a place that she's comfortable, a place that is her, and I believe it is in that place that Janice can become the greatest that she could ever be. It almost reminds me of the words of arguably the most renowned artist of all time, Pablo Picasso, who once said that, my mother said to me, if you are a soldier, you will become a general. If you are a monk, you will become the Pope. Instead, I was a painter, and I became Picasso. So sometimes it doesn't matter what people think is good for you, what you may think is a great thing. But when you are in that space where your destiny lies, You don't have to become a general. You don't have to become the Pope. But by being a painter, he became himself. He became Picasso. And being Picasso was greater than being a general. Just being yourself is sometimes so much greater than all the titles you may dream of in life. My child, I'm glad that you are in that space where I can see you are now becoming Janice. And that is more than you can ever want. Thank you so much for being the great girl. Thank you so much for being this daughter that I'm so proud of. Thank you for being Janice Grieve. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. And thank you for the privilege of being here tonight. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And do we have Palesa Kumalo?
Good evening, everybody. Happy birthday, Melifi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Palisa, and I am one of Janice's friends. I met Janice a couple of years ago at an entrepreneurial organization, and we've become friends ever since then. We even worked together, and we spent a lot of time together. Also traveled a bit together. My friend Janice is a strong woman. Someone who isn't afraid to share her opinions. Someone who isn't afraid to speak her truth. She listens, but she doesn't allow others' opinions or problems to bring her down. She's filled with kindness, generosity, compassion, integrity, and I think I would say 100% integrity, because she wouldn't do something with a half heart, or she would do it fully. A willingness to be vulnerable at times, you know that, and authenticity. One thing about Janice is that wherever we go, everybody sees her in the room for who she is. She'll come in with her beautiful natural hair, and she would wear that crown, you know, and people would be like, wow, who is this woman, you know? She just has this authentic energy that just draws everybody to her. No matter what, she is true to herself, and she doesn't compromise on her self-worth. Some people may see maybe a closed-off exterior and think that maybe she's unapproachable or something. But one thing that I can tell you about Janice is she's one of the softest people ever. She has a sense of humor that you wouldn't even think it's there, but it's there. You'll be sitting with her and she's be like, what's happening over there? What's happening over there? And honestly, it's such a joy to always be with her. She's also one of the smartest and hardworking people I've ever met. We would sit there in Bowman's there working for hours and hours and hours. And my Bella and I would be like, we'd be tapped out, and she'd be like, yo guys, we gotta finish this thing, like we have to finish this thing. And she'd be pushing and we'd like, we'd look at her and you're like, seriously? Seriously? But she would seriously push us and make sure that we actually achieve that which we had set out to achieve. Seeing you grow and blossom has been so beautiful, honestly. And to be a part of one of your guests today, you know, in such a beautiful evening, not only is it your 30th birthday, but you're being inducted. I mean, for me, such an honor and a privilege to be here. And I thank you for that. I just want to say I love you. And I pray that God gives you more and more blessings. Blessings that will even shock you. Because I know you're going places. We've spoken about this. We know where we're going. And it's not even something that will shock us, but it will shock us that, wow, we actually achieved this. But we're on our way there, and you're definitely there. And I'm so proud of you. And I thank you for being my friend. I love you. Thank you.
So we go on, and Mr. Mukize Sishe is also here as a friend of Janice.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sihle Mkhize. I've known Janice for quite some time now, about 7 or 8 years. Just to let you know where we actually met at work. And I'll never forget when we all started working together. It was actually quite a group of us at work. We are all young people, and we were actually still studying at the time, hence we worked in a team that was extended hours. So that basically meant we used to work graveyards, sometimes Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. And I'll never forget the philosophy that we all had. And that was very simply work hard and we played hard. And to think about one story, or one person actually, sorry, the one person that embodied that philosophy was Janice herself. Just to give you a brief idea, there was one Friday, so we had a Saturday meeting, sorry, just to take a step back. I'm not very good at storytelling, but I'll try my best. We used to have Saturdays meetings at 8 o'clock. And one Friday, a very rare Friday, the entire team was working during the day, so we hardly had that. So we told each other, let's go out for a drink. Then we went out for a drink, and we all had fun. It was great evening. And then after that, another person decided to say, hey guys, let's go have another drink because another friend of ours is going. And mind you, all of us having a meeting in the morning at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. I don't know whose idea that was that. It was the worst idea ever, but we all went out and it was all great. And I'll never forget, it was about 4 a.m. now, and we need to have a meeting at 8 o'clock. And we need to go in, and we had to go home very quickly, change, and come back. And Janice came in. I remember I came into work. I was very tired. Everyone was very tired, but we had a 2-hour meeting, then we can go home. Janice came into that meeting as if nothing ever happened the night before. As if, and we all sat there, we looked, and we understood. We were like, guys, but was she there yesterday? And we were like, no, she definitely was. And we sat in the meeting, and I'll never forget, there was something that you said that was the most informative and most, the greatest point of the meeting, essentially. And we all looked at each other and we're like, guys, are we sure Janice was there? We were like, yes, she was definitely there. And when we walked out, we finally went home, I realized one thing, is that, I mean, Janice's, Mr. Griever and Mrs. Griever mentioned that you work very hard. And I think you really embodied that in that particular day and throughout your life. And every single time that you want to pursue something, you've changed your careers and you've changed your decision many times. But even though those things have changed, one thing has always kept constant, is your passion, your dedication, sorry, hello? Oh, I'm sorry. Your passion, your dedication, and that will never change, and that makes me never doubt the fact that whatever you pursue now in your 30s, you will make sure that it will be your best of your ability and you will succeed in that. Thank you for being who you are, thank you for being loyal, and thank you very much for being my friend. Thank you.
Okay, I know we have detained your stomachs, but some have already rebelled. So there was another video from your employer, Red Flank. I just heard it's 17 minutes. So, it's 3 minutes. Okay. Fred, is it Ghanaian minutes or what? Is it 17 minutes? 1-7. No, she's saying it's 3 minutes. So let's just do the video, then we can eat. But feel free to rebel. If your stomach is complaining, please, by all means, listen to your stomach. Volume.
I think he's speaking in parables. I can crack the joke while they are trying to rectify the technical error. You know, there was 3 people, they were worshipping in the sea. One was Indian, one was African, and one was black. A shark came, and the condition was, nobody will stop worshipping. Doesn't matter even, the death comes, you're not going to stop worshipping. So they were meditating and worshipping in the sea. So a shark come and she took the white guy. Now the other 2 are shivering there, they say, what the hell? After 1-2 hours, she came back and she eaten the black guy also. Now left Indian alone. She came, she keep on going around and around and around the guy. And he's opening his eyes and he's praying also and he's looking at the shark. He said, why are you not eating me? She said, tell me who you are first. He said, I'm Indian. She said, I'm not going to eat you. He said, why? She said, I have eaten an Indian 5 years ago. Every morning when I go to the loo, I'm on fire. So I don't want to attempt another one. But don't worry about the Royal India foods. We won't put you on fire. We got flavors here. There's no fire in the food. So food is being served also. And there will be some entertainment going on. We got a beautiful artist here. He plays the best saxophone I ever heard so far in my life. And I'm delighted to encourage them to be ready to perform that while we are dishing out some of the foods. And immediately after that performance, we will be starting our induction ceremonies. And entertain will continue. And the other singers also, Madam Tembi, please be on standby. We need to entertain the people, I don't want them to go and say that the food is not being digested because there was no entertainment at the Royal India. We need everybody to digest the food with the entertainment. So please, I hope the technical error, Mr. Fred, are you winning? No problem. So please, guys, the food is there. Please, you can serve yourself. No need to stop while we are waiting for the next announcement. Thank you very much.
Good evening. This is a message for Janice on her birthday, I believe. Happy birthday, Janice. I've been told that birthdays are a good time for reflection, and today I think is doubly appropriate for that reflection given Janice's promotion that she would have heard about earlier today. So congratulations. Your promotion is thoroughly deserved, Janice. I can't comment on your birthday, but well done on both. On the reflection side, Janice has been working with me at a company called Red Flank for the last year or so, management consultancy, and the value that Janice has added in a very short space of time is truly impressive. Janice joined just before the pandemic started, which would have been just when Red Flank started to work from home, which is not an easy time for anyone to start a new role at a new company. But Janice showed a real drive and a real ability to make the best out of a difficult situation. You know, you've proven to be such a true asset to the company and to the people around you, Janice, over the last year. You've contributed positively to so many different areas, you know, beyond your immediate responsibilities or what might be expected of you. You've really gone above and beyond. Now, Janice did join us with some experience gained in her previous endeavors. It always makes a manager nervous when someone joins with just a little bit of experience that maybe they might come in with a bit of a know-it-all attitude. Definitely not the case with Janice. You know, you came in and you were able to apply your previous learnings in a very constructive way. You've shown that you're an exceptionally organized person and you take immense pride in whatever you do. You also set very high standards for yourself, but also for others around you, which is a trait that I'm sure is going to cause you to butt heads with people in the future, but it's a necessary trait if you want to achieve what I think you want to achieve. Over the last year, you've shown that you're definitely not short of character or resilience. You don't shy away from challenges. And these are traits that are going to stand you in very good stead. And I've got no doubt that with your ambition, great success lies in front of you. So from Red Flag and from myself, Devon, thank you for everything you've worked towards at Red Flag, for everything that you've achieved. And we look forward to many years of joint success. So with that, have a good evening, have a few drinks on me, and good night.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of that program. When you have family agreeing with an employer, isn't it remarkable? Sometimes you know someone privately, but at work it's a different person. So on that score, there is food. We can all take our cue and get the food, and then we continue. The entertainers, I hope your ears will be open for food as well. So let's get the entertainers to...
One. I'm going to sing the song specifically for Jenny girl. And I will always love you. Will always love you. I believe that children our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children laughter remind how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People look for someone to look up to. I never find anyone who fulfill my need. Lonely place to be, so I've learned to depend on me. I've decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity because of greatest love of all. It's happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. I believe that children of a future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children laughter remind how we used to be. I've decided long ago to anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity because of greatest love of all. It's happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of We have our brother in the house. He will be coming, blessing us with an item. Mr. Neo.
This is called the power of music, you know. Music can heal you. One more. Yeah. You still. Maybe we can do some bhangra with the saxophone, you know. Me? No problem. I will do it, but everybody have to do it with me. Each step 100 rand. If you do continuously 10 steps, I will give you 10,000 rands, Punjabi style. And but the condition is, Bhushan bhai, you must sing the Punjabi song in typical Punjabi language. Yeah. Guys, we are doing one more performance, and after that we are starting our ceremony. So please, I hope you guys enjoying a nice meals and with the nice music. As they say, you know, music has no language. You just need to have a quality ear to listen or understand a quality music.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Sometimes I wonder where the marketplace of talents is so that I can apply to be somebody I am not. So we're going to play a short video of the inductees for today, and then we can then proceed. So Fred is looking at the video. So can we give a round of applause to the two entertainers? But nevertheless, we have a hall that houses candles. When we reach 10,000, the candles themselves will make noise. So it starts with one step that is preceded by the mind to do something. So we fail because we are going somewhere. So the first inductee is Miss Janice Scriver, who is the birthday girl. Yeah.
I would like to request Dr. Ladislas Agbesi to be on the stage to hand over all these gifts with us. Please, these award ceremonies and the induction certificates.
All right, so that's the first one. And when you say an inductee, what does it mean? Because when we enter life, we are not inducted. When we live life, we are not inducted. But during life, others may welcome us. So thank you. And yeah, Mr. Fakir Hassan, I think somebody wrote here Hussein, not Saddam Hussein, but is Hassan with an A. So I think we shall correct. We make mistakes in motion, but So please hide Hussein.
I just want to say something.
Yeah, no, you say, yeah.
I want to say something about them
Huh?
while we're giving.
Okay.
You know, it's important to tell who is Dr. Mr. Fakir Hussein. You know, I landed in South Africa 2004, sometime in July. And when I got my job in Santon, first time, I used to read a lot of Indian activities in the country, who is writing about them, who is talking about what Indians are doing in South Africa, you know. And it was always a wish to meet Mr. Fakir Hassan, you know. But that time, you know, when you are in your struggling time, nobody knows you. It's impossible to touch the sky and touch the moon and the stars. But today we are honored, and I'm very honored that Fakir Bhai is here with us. He's a fatherly figure. And I'm really honored that, you know, in my lifetime I managed to bring this thing into the history, and we putting it on record that I lived in the era of legends of journalism when it comes to media excellence. I'm personally honored, and we also honored as BOAF and Point of Lights. It's an honor to have you, Fakir Bhai. Thank you very much.
Mr. Shay less. If it was Zimbabwean, you say Shay more. Like love more. Perfect. We'll give the opportunity to say something.
The last time you gave me a microphone, nobody else was able to speak.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay. You can, Mr. Shailesh, sometimes he's Kenyan and sometimes he's African. But we are proud to have him here. 3 weeks ago, I didn't know him. 3 weeks later, our minds met. And I was just saying, I had one fellow African from Guinea-Conakry who is an expert on diamonds, but he doesn't want to be in the public domain. So I was saying, I will call you Mr. Diamond, or Banking on Africa's Future, the face of diamond. And that's my new name for you, the president of Diamond. You can say something. We are going to come to Mr. Fakir. He's
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Salam alaikum. Sat Sri Akal. Madame de Monsieur, bonsoir. As I just commented, the last time they gave me the microphone, I stood here for a good 15 minutes. Some say it was an interesting speech. I'm not too sure about that. I do not want to be here that long today. All I will say is this initiative, which has been commenced by Johannesburg, South Africa, and especially by our friends here, is something very, very unique. The intention is to bring out the true light of Africa. As our friend here said, Africa is one of the largest GDPs, and it has the potential to overtake many of the Western extremely developed countries, no doubt about it. Obviously, there are pitfalls which have to be crossed, but all I can say is that I wish all the very, very best to this initiative. And I can rest assured that wherever I have very good connections, like Rwanda, Kenya, obviously, Tanzania, several other neighboring countries within East Africa, I shall do my very, very best to promote this particular initiative. And especially as we have very, very prominent people within the membership, and more than ever, the lovely guests we always have attending. You know, you guys do us pride. You know, you guys do us pride, and we thank you ever so much for supporting us. And we look forward to seeing you all ever so much in the future. starting this Saturday, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, starting this Saturday. Right? I won't take up much of your time. All I can say is thanks ever so much for the great honor. And talking about Mr. Diamond, maybe one day, as he said, I do not like publicity, and that is extremely true. I do not like publicity at all. I'm a very, very humble person. I would love to help Africa find its own way in the bullion and diamond markets. I know that the miners are suffering, especially, I'm not talking about the De Beers who control the big markets. I'm talking about the poor miner who, on his knees, tries and makes his fortune. You know, those are the guys who get done by the likes of, I'm sorry to say, by the likes of De Beers, who create any sort of market they really want. And people like me are here to support them. And I'm more than happy to support them in any manner whatsoever I possibly can. Thank you ever so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. And it just shows one of our founding values says the brotherhood of men transcends the sovereignty of nations. That there cannot be any border that separates the human mind. And the audacity of the human spirit is best evidenced by faith. Just the belief that tomorrow is a better day than today. And you can't get it. Mr. Edwin Banda is the next one. Mr. Edwin Banda happens to be, we share the same building. He's also the lawyer, and sometimes we wonder who is the lawyer, me or him, but we keep on fighting to find the perfect law. No, you get it. This one, okay. Good. So you can say a few words and then.
Thank you so much, Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that between me and Mr. Mawere, I am the lawyer. And I just want to define the Africa that I want. I want to confirm to Mr. Mawere and my elders in front that yes, I am banking on Africa's future. But what future of Africa am I banking on? I am banking on an African future that will see South Africa putting an end to importing rice from Pakistan when Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, and Mozambique has got rice in abundance without a market. I am banking on a future of Africa that will see South Africa putting a ban on importing coffee from Brazil and Asian countries when Ethiopia, Uganda, Cameroon, Tanzania, Malawi has got virgin organic coffee without a market. Mr. Mawere, I just want to confirm that I am banking on Africa's future. The people of Zimbabwe, mainly the Shonas, have got a saying that goes and says, and the elephant will never tire carrying its own trunk or its own tasks. Africa is an elephant, and we should never tire carrying our own African problems and finding political solutions to political problems. Finding economic solutions to our economic problems. And yes, one day is one day. Africa shall rise. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Banda. And Mr. Bushan does. We were here on Saturday, and they allowed us to hijack a birthday. So, and they did it so graciously that today we have continued the tradition of ambushing birthdays so that we can speak the message. Thank you, Mr.
You know, I just want to add something to Bhushan Bhai. Please come to the stage. You know, there was a singer, whenever he used to sing, it rains. So all the other people in that city, they used to complain. They say, how come when this guy, he sings, it rains? No, we can also bring the rain. So they went to the elders of the town. They say, no, we as young people, we also can bring the rain by dancing. So they put the competition on, and they say, okay, it's your turn. So the young people, they start dancing from morning till evening. Not even a drop of rain comes. After a couple of hours, they give up. They say, okay, maybe, you know, this singer, he used some kind of magic spell to bring the rain. Let's put him on. The minute he start singing, within few minutes, it start raining. They end up accepting the defeat. They say, we accepting the defeat. Can you please share the secret of your this thing? You know, whenever you sing, it rains. You know what was the answer the singer given? He said, I do not stop singing until it rains. You know, so it is important that sometimes you don't give up. You keep on singing until it rains. And Bhushan Bhai, today it is raining by God's grace. We are honored to honor you because music has no language. I always say, you know, for you to understand a quality music, you need to have a quality ears. And me as a graduate in Sangeet Bhushan in India, and you know, I just want to explain the meaning of his name. His name is Bhushan. Bhushan means a necklace or jewelry, you know, like an ornament. So the ladies in India, you know, when they find a nice ornament, they like to keep it secretly. And I always say, Madam, Mrs. Bhushan, please keep your husband as a stolen gun. Nobody must know you got a stolen gun. We got an ornament in the music industry, and we are honored to honor you by. Thank you.
Okay, I was going to say a few words, but I just want to take this opportunity to thank BOAF for this honorary award and for the induction today to this fantastic organization. Like I say, it's we're going to move forward, bringing Africa together. But me being an entertainer, and just to say to our birthday girl as well, you know, I will be failing in my duty to not entertain you as well. But I'm going to do it in my mother tongue, even though I can sing in a few other languages. So it says that, come everybody, let's all sing, let's all dance. The moon and the stars are here tonight as invited guests as well. Right? There's a queen celebrating a birthday tonight, so let's everybody sing happy birthday to you. And the song in my language goes like this. Aao jhume नाचे गाए आज मस्ती बड़ी शाम है चांद तारों का खजाना आज तुझ पे है लुटाना एक रानी का ऐलान है everybody happy birthday a happy birthday to you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So this platform, thank you. So this platform is about integration. It's about accepting each other as human beings, not as religious boundaries and all that. So we accepting each other as human beings, our brothers and sisters. So that's why I sang this song for you in my language, and I explained it, the meaning to you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then, who has seen the face of a pharmacist with a PhD? we have one. Dr. Sally Singh for Soko. We're talking about pharmacy, about scripts, about everything. So he says, if someone can be in both, why can't I be? So that's our doctor.
Can you lower it a little bit? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure and an honor to be presented with this certificate of induction. When I was told by Mr. Mawere that I will be inducted today, as a pharmacy personnel and somebody that works in a factory, I thought I should bring my pen and paper because there might be an exam. Because in pharmacy, in industry, when it's an induction, it's an exam. But I'm surprised that we are here to eat and drink. There's no examination.
I still got one question for you, if you don't mind. Sorry, I'm hijacking your speech. You know, I wanted to know the secret. What a doctor writes on his prescription, we can't read it as a patient, but only a pharmacist reads it. What is the secret there you guys write? What are the codes? Please break them.
Can I say that everybody writes in a hurry?
Okay.
So we recognize everybody's quick handwriting when taking notes in the lecture theaters. Just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from the Mountain Kingdom, the Kingdom of Lesotho. I'm not from the royal family, but we are a very small nation of about 2 million people, right on top of the hills. When I came to this family, I'll call it a family. Apart from being a pharmacist, I also have interest in community development. So I was introduced into a family of a foundation, a faith mission foundation called Mercy Foundation, which is founded by Reverend Wright. So in Mercy Foundation, we take care of God's creation. We feed the people. We have a feeding scheme, which is food security. We do education and training. We also do some development skills. So when I was introduced to this family, it was almost an extension and a little bit of a level above what we are doing at Mercy Foundation. So I said, maybe this is God's way of elevating us and uniting us as Africans, because we as Africans live as a family. Having traveled many countries, Europe, I studied in Cuba, so when Mr. Mawere said, maybe there are no communists here, he didn't know that I'm one of the communists. So I just kept quiet and thought, well, he doesn't know that there are communists inside this house. But to cut the long story short, we as Africans need to take hold of what we have in this country or in our own countries. Africa is a rich country, and all the resources are being moved from Africa to the so-called developed countries for improvement, and they come back to us as a finished product. But Africa has got resources. Africa has educated its own children in the developed countries. And it is time for us, the present generation, to make use of the knowledge that we acquired in the developed countries and use it to develop and improve on the natural resources that we have as Africans. So I suggest, and I'm very happy to say that we need to guard Africa, we need to incubate Africa so that we can export the finished products to developed countries and bring back the GDP that was God-given to Africa. I thank you very much.
Thank you. And the last woman in this day of induction, I got a call on Saturday from my nephew in Cape Town. He says, "Uncle, can you talk to Makotso about banking on Africa's future?" And I said, "But you are already there. Why don't you talk to her? If Jesus could die and Christians would be born, why is it that you want to repeat every time?" But I love him so much, so he always talks about me wherever he sees. So even when I'm tired, I always say, this one I have to answer. So he's my boss. His mother is my sister. So Makotso is, she then said, "I want to be part of this thing." So she paid in good faith. And this is the first time I've seen her. And thank you for coming. And we are inducting you just out of faith.
So what's interesting is everybody's sort of coming up with political manifestos. So I'm going to keep mine very short. Live and breathe Pan-Africanism. Fully South African, Turkish speaking, lived in Lagos. Grew up in the dusty streets of Cameroon and Ivory Coast as well. So really, really epitomize the African diaspora. I don't talk So if we have any in Niger, the girl don't, you know there, it's okay then. I am a neuropsychologist, studied abroad. I'm very fortunate to have spent part of my scholastic backbone in both the UK and parts of Turkey, hence being Turkish speaking, merhabalar, and nasılsınız, inshallah. Hope we've got Turkish people around. But I think what's important is really creating a systemized and integrated ecosystem for Africa. I love calling it the capital triad, right? So a combination of social, of economic, and intellectual capital. I think we've got all the resources, we're just very fragmented. So I think banking on Africa is an incredible initiative. And even through my introduction to Mr. Mawere, it was primarily through social capital. So I think if we can start performing the organizing logistics and come together as Africa. I think I'm also the youngest inductee, just in my 20s, but very unapologetic. So I was explaining to Mr. Grieve in the front, so he's aware I was deported from parts of Turkey in January. But I think what is most important is the youth is also being unapologetic, right? So we've had 100 million rand conversations together in some of our pitching sessions, but I think being unapologetic is extremely important, and most importantly, leveraging your social capital. So yes, thank you for your time. Specifically, maybe I think for the purpose of also driving initiatives that are directional. I am in the ICT sector. I work for a Microsoft partner called GCT, and I also own a tech startup, which is a platform agnostic system integrator and a resourcing partner as well. So anything in the tech space, holla at your girl. Anything around enterprise and supplier development. I'm very, very passionate about increasing the operational resilience of South African startups. So yeah, holla at your baby girl. Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
And the last one, you know, I remember some years back, I sponsored a birthday for one of the ministers. And she was a minister, what speaker. So every year, I always got a call before the birthday. Where are the bubbles? And the guy always delivers. He has never disappointed me. So I met him with his bosses, and then we're talking about wine of Africa. Say, what is going on? Is it Napa Valley? Is it, some people don't know that Sister John Rhodes was set up a company called Rhodes Fruit, whatever estate, to save the wine industry. So today we're drinking wine, not his statue, because Rhodes was once alive. So when I think of wine, because I don't drink myself, not wine, champagne, I always think of Ronald. So when I said there is a birthday, he was the first one to step forward and say, I will not donate, I will steal from those who make it so that we can make a difference tonight. So Ronald wanted to give Janice another gift again, but apart from that, he is a point of light himself.
Come, Mr. Ronald. Let's drink and dance. Let's drink. No. Take the right angle. There we go. Mr. Grambach.
The brand is Graham Beck. I will see where do you know it from. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think today I have to say something about Mr. Mawere. But before I say that, what makes me happy here is that everyone here tonight, they understand the idea of banking on Africa's future. Because I've seen people drinking local produced products here, which means we all understand the future of banking on Africa, banking on Africa's future. You know, my journey in the wine industry started in 1998 when I started as a cleaner. The same place where I was a cleaner, when I left 10 years later, I was a wine consultant. Wow. And when my journey of becoming a wine consultant starting, I was working in Fourways, and I used to see a lot of business people coming to see me after hours, and I thought they were just running away from their wives. and then later I realized that actually there is a story to tell about wine, and I started taking my career serious. To cut the story short, one day I met one of Mr. Mawere's friends at Fallon's Hotel. And he said to me, when you're done with your meeting, come and join us here. I'm waiting for Mr. Mawere. Do you know him? And I said, yeah, I know. I've seen him on TV. He said, come and join us. And then I thought, let me try it. I went to join them. And a week later, we had a lunch with Mr. Mawere at Lucas Restaurant in Sunning Hill. So, and when he told me that we'll meet in Sunning Hill, I decided to invite my educated friends because I didn't want to face him alone. And when I was on my way to Lucas Restaurant, my friends sent me messages to say they've cancelled. Now I had to face Mr. Mawere alone. And when he walked in, the first thing that I said to him, I said, the people that I invited, they have cancelled. He said, why are you worried about other people? Worry about yourself. And unfortunately, I was not a footballer. If I was a footballer, what I would have learned from Mr. Mawere is anticipation. You know, when I watch football all the time, I realize that most of the greatest strikers, they score most of their goals based on anticipation. And Mawere doesn't give you a time to prepare.
I agree.
Every time you receive a call or a message from him, you must anticipate something. Even today, he sent me a message a few days ago, and I had to anticipate that there might be a special someone there that will deserve a special gift. And my anticipation was right. Miss Birthday, I brought a nice gift for you. I'll ask one of the waiters maybe to bring it from that side, from the table there outside. So, what I learned from Mawere that you must always anticipate. It worked tonight. I didn't know that I will meet you today, but because of my anticipation, I knew someone must get that gift. Happy birthday, Janice. Okay. As Mr. Mawere said, I work for Graham Beck. And our founder, Graham Beck, always said, we must always believe in nature, people, and quality. And Graham Beck is one of the South African brands that is well known worldwide. In 1994, Graham Beck was selected for Mandela's inauguration. And in 2008, when President Barack Obama won his first presidential election, he toasted with Graham Beck. Tonight is you, Miss Janice. Happy birthday again. Thank you.
What make us qualify for council? What make us qualify for some of us? Are we supposed to be Maore's friend or what?
Someone is asking me here, what makes everyone qualify to get Graham Beck?
You must have a birthday.
So,
and it must happen
you
in
know,
all India.
what I have learned from Mr. Mawere, he said, you must always have a purpose of meeting people every day. You have met me today. From tonight, I think everyone in this room can qualify to have Graham Beck.
Thank you very much. And Ronald does deliver. Even to people I don't like, he still gives them bubbles on my behalf. So, yeah, thank you. So I think we have a speech. We have just too many speeches. But Mr. Fakir Hassan, we thought he would be the last to take us to the Africa that he wants. When I look at his 50-plus journey in the media industry, and you look at what is it that makes Africa what it should be. And I wanted him to preface the cake so that we can have the birthday girl come out and also reflect on what is here. We have detained the two bosses. I said there are 2 points of light. Look at them. They are here to be with us, to remind us that the digital revolution has not made men of letters redundant and obsolete. That experience does matter and perspectives do matter. Insights do matter. Ideas do matter. And above all, knowledge on what is common sense, what is logic, and what is reason. There are many people who appear to be reasonable, but they don't have reason. There are many people who appear to have common sense, but they don't have sense. There are many people who pretend to be logical, but they possess no logic. So Mr. Hassan, he's got all the three: common sense, logic, and reason. And it's not in pick and pay or cash and carry. It just is there or it's not there. So you can just give us a few words of wisdom.
I want to make sure that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you do me more credit than I deserve, sir. Mr. Mawere, thank you so much. I put back the mask because there's a very special reason. I always seen in public with an orange mask. I think some of my friends here tonight know about this. You know, you said when you started, Mr. Mawere, that every African needs an Indian. Every Indian also needs an African. Because when Gandhi spent his time in Durban, Dube needed him and he needed Dube. When Madiba went to prison, Ahmed Kathrada needed him and he needed Ahmed Kathrada. Now Ahmed Kathrada has a foundation in his name. He is no longer around. But that foundation has asked all South Africans to wear an orange mask to signify that we support all those corrupt politicians, businessmen and others to wear orange overalls soon. And that is why I'm asking all of you to support that initiative as well, if you can get an orange mask. That's the mask story. It doesn't matter that you misspelled my name on there. At least you said Hussein. Very often when I'm invited somewhere, they introduce me as Hassan with an A instead of an E. Now, I come from the poor side of the Hassan family. We spell our name with an E. The ones who are the kings of Morocco and so on, they spell their Hassan with an A. So I'm never offended when they refer to me as Hassan, because I think I'm of royalty now, you know. So it's not a problem. Thirdly, you see I walked up with two phones. The one has a timer on it, set at 7 minutes, which will remind me that I'm 2 minutes over my allotted time already, so I must stop. The other one, Janice, happy birthday. I hope I get a piece of your cake because I've also just turned 68. And when you are 68, I've spent more than 50 years writing. I have never, ever written a speech in my life. I've delivered hundreds, I'm sure. But I've never written a speech because I like to speak from the heart, firstly, and I like to hear what the others have said before me so that I can keep my speech short. But today I'm going to implore you to give me about 7 minutes, if that's okay, because I have some important messages I'd like to share. One of them is this book. I've written 23 so far. I've been very fortunate, recording the contemporary history of our communities. And this is the latest one which we launched in November last year. It's called 160 Years of Inspiration. 160 years ago last year, the first Indians arrived in South Africa as indentured laborers. And if you can see the top pictures, they're all in black and white of how the women and children toiled on the sugarcane fields, what sad conditions they were brought here on the ships and so on. And at the bottom, you can see some of the success stories of especially our youth in that community today. So this is a collection of achievement, and that's why the subtitle here is Tribulation to Triumph. They came here with those hopes and inspirations. They left people like me here today with their triumphs and with their tribulations that they did. I'd like to just read very briefly to you page 5, where I say something. I get asked this very often when I speak. What drives you to write books like these? And this is what drives me. All my writings are based on one single premise. Any knowledge and experience that I have gained in my lifetime is useless. It is useless if it is not shared with others. By keeping it to myself, I will effectively render it extinct. It dies with me. But by sharing it, that knowledge and experience will multiply exponentially and serve mankind further, perhaps even in perpetuity through writing in the written word. And that's what drives me. So I thought I should share that. I'm not marketing the book. The book is already almost out of print because all my books are published with support from people like these on the back cover, and placed free of charge in all our public libraries and school libraries because they can't afford to buy books. So it's always a non-profit venture where we place these books there. So I have a few copies for those who might be interested. You can contact my agent here afterwards, yeah. But let me now get to my phone where Janice, I was saying when you turn 68, and I hope you don't go through that when you are 68 or 70, you can't remember anymore everything in your head. You need to make a few notes. So unfortunately, I say, have to refer to some of these notes now. So firstly, thank you for this wonderful initiative, not just for honoring me and my colleagues, and I'd like to believe, although I haven't spoken to any of my fellow recipients here tonight, like Dr. Banda, I would like to believe that I have a mandate from each one of you to speak on your behalf in thanking them for the initiative firstly, and for the honor that you have bestowed on us today. Now, I am Indian. I am Indian. I have a very proud cultural heritage that I'm extremely proud of. But I am also South African. I was born in South Africa. My father was born in South Africa. He never left these shores because the apartheid government would never allow him a passport. My grandfather arrived here in Pretoria in 1903, never left the country again. But he was hankering to go back to India. He never got there. I have been over 20 times to India. On one of those trips, one of the first I took with my wife, Serena, on the very second day of a 2-week trip, she wanted to know when our return ticket was for. Because she says, there's no place like home in South Africa. We could never stay in India. So although I have a very proud cultural heritage of India, I am South African first, and then I am African. I was born in Africa. I am an Indian, South African, African, if that makes any sense. I want to share with you a stereotypical story of people, even today in South Africa, who see a Venda person within a certain vision. They see an Indian person in a certain vision. You know, we are curry and saris and dance. We are much more than that, as most of you will know. I happened to be, just after Madiba had come into power and took us to our democracy, I was fortunate enough by Madiba's government to be made a member of South Africa's first National Commission for UNESCO. And in that capacity, I found myself in Washington one day. I think it was around 93, 94. And I was in desperate need of a haircut. And I went into a barber shop or salon, as they called it there, I think. And this lady said to me, "You have such lovely hair." I really had hair at that time, 93. It was sitting here and here and here. And I needed that haircut. And she played with my hair and she said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "South Africa." She said, "Oh." But she played again with my hair and she said, "But your hair is not African." So I asked her, "What is African hair?" And she said, she looked around and there was I don't know where this lady was from, probably Jamaica or somewhere. And she said, "That is African hair." And I said, "No, I am South African and this is my South African hair." And we got into a kind of debate around it, and she eventually decided that I was Indian. And I agreed. I said, "Yes, I'm Indian, but I'm South African Indian." She kept quiet for the rest of the haircut because I think I thoroughly confused her. But that's the kind of stereotypical things we need to get rid of. We need to get to that social integration that does away with the stereotypes. Respect the cultures, the languages, the traditions, the food, the clothing of your fellow man. And don't forget that they have their own just as you do yours. But be one common South African and African. Now, if this phone would just stop doing that to me. See, when you're 68, technology also kind of takes over. Now, I've been asked, I must get to my theme now, which is, what is the Africa I want? Now, whenever I speak, I borrow very heavily from my 3 mentors, idols, and role models. Two of them I never met. The third one I did many times, and every time he impressed me. Those are Mahatma Gandhi, firstly. Then there was Martin Luther King. And then there's our very own Madiba, who is the one I met frequently. All of them had one common vision about humanity. And some of our previous speakers have spoken about this. So to borrow from Thabo Mbeki and paraphrase him a bit with Martin Luther King, I have a dream for Africa. I dream of an Africa where we are all proudly and equally African, despite our cultural roots, our origins, where we come from, and the proudness with which we honor those respective legacies we have from our origin, our countries of origin, our places of origin. I dream of an Africa where our cultures and religions are respected, whether it's like Dr. Banda was telling me earlier, telling us that in the Malawian language, I think it's Chichewa, there is no L or no R, is it? So they lun instead of run. I dream of an Africa where we don't make fun of those things, but respect those things. I dream of an Africa where our entire continent supports what Madiba said. South Africa could never be free if the people of Palestine are not free, and we see what's happening in Palestine today. I dream of that kind of support from Africa. I dream of an Africa where there is education for every child and every teenager, and hopefully these two will also get that free education when they're a little older, which will also teach them that they should sit quietly, behave when people are speaking, right? I dream of an Africa where employment and business is free for everyone. We know what's happening with this free trade agreement across Africa. JJ, I'm sure you guys are part of it. That's the Africa we want, where there's no poverty and hunger anymore. Above all, I dream of a corruption-free Africa. We've heard about the Mo Ibrahim Award for good governance. I'm sure you've heard of it. Happens every year. A few of our African leaders have won that. It's getting less and less. The list of potential winners of that award are getting less and less. So I dream of an Africa where we have that leadership that will make sure that our continent can be big. We should not, I was speaking to Mr. Mawere, and Mr. Mawere, you recall, we agreed on one thing. We should not dwell in the past. We can't keep blaming apartheid for all the ills in South Africa. We can't blame the corruption across Africa for all the problems in Africa. We should not fall in those ashes of the horrors of the past. We shouldn't build our homes with the ashes that have been brought to us. Don't build our homes with those ashes. Take those ashes, scatter them into the wind, and start afresh so that we can have that Africa that we all dream of. We can't keep dwelling in the past and blaming the past for our present and our future. We need to take action and build that. I want to give you a quick multiplication example. This is a test to see how well you did in maths at school. What is 1 times 1? Come on, everyone, if you are listening to me. What is 1 times 1? I can't believe 50 people failed maths at school. 1 times 1. 1, thank you. Thank you, 1. What is 1 times 100? 100. What is 1 times 10,000? 10,000. But what is 2 times 10,000? Hey, you took long, man. What grade did you pass, sir? 20,000. What is 20,000 times 2? 40,000. What is 40,000 times 10? 400,000. JJ, finally you showed your education. 400,000. And if we go on like that exponentially, every one of us here tonight will be part of that large figure to build that Africa that we want. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. You all know that famous speech, right? Not all is good in the US today for what he wanted. We know what's happening there, but he got very far with that. Gandhi and others with him, they drove the British out of colonial India, which many said would never happen for centuries. It happened. Madiba went to jail for 27 years. Everybody said, yeah, a certain section of our population said, we will rule forever. Madiba came out of jail to become our president and lead us into a peaceful democracy. So it's possible to dream. These leaders showed us that you can dream. So to the 10,000 points of light and banking on Africa's future, and we believe in those dreams. The possibilities of the world's last bastion of hope. I always call Africa the world's last bastion of hope. We have so much hope and opportunity in Africa. And it's through these organizations, and maybe more who will be born out of these organizations, that we will find that Africa leads the world. So congratulations on the initiative, allowing me to be a part of it. And whether you are Indian, South African, whether you're from Benin, whether you're from Malawi, Ghana, Morocco, wherever else in Africa, be proud of that tradition and culture you have wherever you came from, where you originated from. Wherever you find yourself now, be African and be a point of light. Thank you very much for your patience in listening to me.
I think we must thank a round of applause for Mr. One more, Mr. Hassan, not Hussein, not Hassan, but Hassan. Fakir, thank you very much. Taking the time to be part of this story. 100 years from now, they will look back and they'll find your words with no correction, with no addition, just the way you spoke them. So you can come and tell us the person who made the cake is one of our members banking on Africa's future. So because she did it before, we don't need faith. We trust you. So we can bank on you to produce a cake whose composition we don't know. So I know you got some, you can come forward and then that's the point of light. The dreamer who produced this cake. Is it the cake from the bottom up? Okay, yeah. Okay, come through. So Janice, that's and can we join in just saying, what it is? I normally, the knife, is there a knife and JJ, you can take over.
Oh, yes, I will do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mukiz is gone. Is Ronald here?
I think it is my turn to give the finishing touch. You know, when you are drinking, the one who drinks the last sip, they say you are the one who finished the whole bottle. So I would like to request Bhushan Bhai, would you please help me to No, I think we got the birthday song, so it's fine. Sorry, my apology. So it's time to do the ceremony. I would like to invite the family to please join the birthday girl to cut the cake. And we got some, I think 3 or 4 cases of eggs in case you guys wanted to break them and make some mess, which is not allowed actually. Guys, it's time to sing the happy birthday to the birthday girl. And Madam Tambisha Balala, one of the finest singer in the house, going to give that honor. So I would request the family to please join Janice to cut the cake. And my staff, please provide the lighter to burn the candles on the cake. Lighter. Whoever smokes, please bring the lighter. Come on, guys. I can't believe there's no smoker in the house. Yeah, there we go. We have that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Johnny. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Johnny. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you now? Happy birthday to you.
Hip, hooray! Please go ahead. It's time to cut the cake. Please cut the cake. I just find the reason, I discovered 2 things. Please carry on cutting your cakes. I'm cracking the jokes. Oh, please. You can make a wish. Please make a wish. Make a wish.
Each day is a day to celebrate life. So use your birthday to build bridges. We are bridge builders, building brick by brick. Each day, each person at a time, we shall overcome and secure the future we want.
Each day is a day to celebrate life. And birthday is a reminder of proof of life. Use the day to connect people and inspire. Each day is a day to celebrate life. And birthday is a reminder of proof of life. Use the day to connect people and inspire. Without time and space, what is life? Absent the diversity and the differences, what will life be like? Imagine life without a choice. Spare some time, yeah. When time is measured, life true purpose can be self-evident. Life without human interaction is dead, oh yeah. Life impacts on others. Hence when it is your birthday time,